Let's talk 5 things I don't do as a feminine homemaker. If you are new here, my name is Abby, and here we talk about classic living and traditional values, and I would love if you would consider joining our family over here, our little classic crew. I have really been getting into homemaking lately, and so that's been a big topic of discussion here on this channel, but you'll also be able to find conservative mom movie reviews, as well as an assortment of other kind of traditional lifestyle stuff. So feel free to subscribe, it's absolutely free. But in today's video, I want to talk about the 5 things I don't do as a homemaker and as a feminine woman, as a woman who embraces my femininity. It's really interesting because I think so much of what we see about women who are at home and women who do homemake is like beautiful pictures and beautiful aesthetics on Instagram. And as a person who is in the act of homemaking every single day and is in it with my son every single day, there are just certain things I don't do as a stay-at-home mom and I think are kind of unrealistic. So I want to share those with you guys today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so make sure to leave something down below and let's get into it. P.S. If you didn't know, I am 24 weeks pregnant when I'm recording this, so that might be why I sound out of breath. I am very into nesting right now. My mom has been coming over and we've been just doing a giant clean out of my house, thank God, because I just want to throw everything out, and it's been rather exciting. But not to get too derailed, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is wear beautiful clothes. I love fashion, I love style. I love dressing well and wearing clothes that are cute and fun. But I see so many women on Instagram, on YouTube, who just look absolutely gorgeous while they're going about their very aesthetically pleasing homemaking stay-at-home lives. And here's the thing for me. I need to be able to make a mess. I need my son to be able to eat something and then have me wipe his hands. And if his hands still have chocolate or peanut butter or whatever else it is on them, I need to be okay with that food getting on my clothes. The few things that I own that need to be dry cleaned, I only wear on date nights. I would say that the majority of my clothes can be thrown directly into the washing machine, and that is of absolute importance to me. And I think that is so much more important than wearing really beautiful clothes all the time. Wearing things that are flattering and you love and are fun is great, but they have to be easy and you have to have the flexibility to live your life as a good mom. If you're more concerned about your clothes getting dirty than you are about getting down in the mud with your child, I think that that's the wrong way to look at things. And it's just, you've got your priorities mixed up. I can look at all these women online and be like, wow, they look amazing. Like, that's so beautiful. But at the end of the day, it's not practical. And I'm a practical person. I'm a practical mom. My husband was teasing me that when I go to things with other moms, not all of them are of the same perspective that I am. And I'm the one who's like, I'm down in the dirt. I'm like, let's get dirty, let's make messes. Because I have a boy, I have a son, I have another son on the way, and I think it's good for them to get dirty. And I don't ever want my son to run up to me and me to be like, no, I'm wearing a nice dress. Like, that's just not my style. So that is the first thing I would say as a feminine homemaker I kind of reject, is this idea of wearing really beautiful clothing that actually prevent you from being a better mom. The second thing I don't do as a feminine homemaker is keep a picture perfect household. I remember before I had my child, I was like, I'm not gonna own any of those big ugly toys in the middle of my house. Nah, well, that went out the window as soon as these things made him happy, and I was like, oh, we are definitely buying that. That is super fun. To be honest, I would say that my house is about 85% clean, and in the evenings I try to get it to about 95%, but throughout the day, that can totally range from like 20% clean to 100% clean, just based on what we're doing, just based on if we're outdoors all day or if we're indoors all day. And I can't make myself so crazy about cleanliness and tidiness that we aren't living our lives. I actually posted an Instagram reel a little while ago about how a lived-in home that looks a little messy is also a loved home. And so prioritizing what needs to be clean, what areas need to be kept tidy, is really important. And I think that there is a level of cleanliness and tidiness that needs to be upheld. For my mental health, this is my office, this is my working space as a stay-at-home mom. So I like to keep my house clean, but there's a certain level of cleanliness that is not going to be reached on a daily basis. And I have to be okay with that, or else my son's gonna feel crazy, I'm gonna feel crazy, we're gonna feel like we can't move or live our lives. And so the reason I bring this up is because often you see on Instagram, on social media, these beautiful homes. Well, they're taken in a moment where things happen to be clean. But the truth is that if you're living in your house, if you're a homemaker, and if you are constantly working in your home, then your home is not gonna be tidy all the time. It's not gonna be clean all the time. That's just not gonna happen. And so I think it's really a wonderful thing to embrace that cleanliness and tidiness have to be put in their proper place. And so it can be a very important element to your daily routine. I know it is a very important element to mine, but am I gonna mop every night? No, but I will mop around my son's high chair every time he eats. Like, that's what works for me. And I try to do like a vacuum mop situation once a week. So throughout the week, my floors might not be so clean. Okay, so if I see something really messy, I'll pull out my vacuum real quick and I'll take it up. But if there's, some kind of dried stains on the floor, if I don't get to it today, I'll get to it on Friday. That's my philosophy. And I think it just makes everyone feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more at ease about living here. The third thing that I don't do as a feminine homemaker is do my hair and makeup every single day. I do not do that. I love doing my hair and makeup. It is something that brings me quite a bit of joy, but there are many days I do not have time. There are many days where that is at the bottom of the totem pole as far as things that I need or want to do, and I choose not to do them. And I have found that by making it something that I get to do sometimes rather than something I have to do every single day, I find actually more joy in it, because it's not something like, oh gosh, I gotta get my makeup on before we leave the house, or I gotta do my hair before we get out of here. It's something that I get to do when I have time. And that's like, okay, I got to put on a little makeup today, or I got to do a nice hairstyle today. As you can see, this is just my natural hair. So it's not curled, it's not straightened, it's just, this is my natural texture, and I didn't have time to style it. So I put in a little bit of hairspray, I brushed it, we're good, that's enough. I am wearing a full face of makeup today because I happened to have time. My mom came over, she was watching my son for a little bit, and that's when I got to do my makeup because I'm filming this video. But for most of the time, most days, I don't have an opportunity to do it, and I'd rather use that time to exercise or to make breakfast or to clean. And I have to choose how I use my time very effectively. So even though from a very feminine, beauty-based perspective, doing your hair and makeup is lovely and is a wonderful thing, if you look clean and if you look put together, then those other things are less important. And it's much more important what you are doing for your family and how you are making your house into a home. So if you doing your makeup means that somebody isn't getting your attention who needs it, then maybe that's not the best way to prioritize things. And that feminine element of beauty is actually less important than the feminine element of being dependable and nurturing. That is how I view these things, and it means that I don't always look picture perfect, and that is absolutely fine. The fourth thing that I don't do is aim to have an unachievable figure. I think after you have children, your body has gone through so many changes, but you still kind of want to look like you did before you had kids. I mean, they say, get your body back, which is never gonna happen because your body is fundamentally different after you've had children. I'm having my babies pretty close together. I think it's really easy to aim to have a figure that's never gonna happen. Now, there are women who get their bodies back and who look incredible after they have kids. And there's a few different elements to that. Genetics is one. If you have a full-time nanny who can watch your kids while you go to the gym, if you have the time, if you have the energy, I mean, those are things that can help you get your body back to where you want it. But the most important thing about exercise and fitness is staying healthy for your family. And when you are staying healthy, your body will naturally look better. So I always focus on that. I focus on, I want to be strong for my son. I want to be physically fit so that this pregnancy is easier. I would like to look attractive to my husband, but that's gonna come through me trying to stay healthy. And so instead of trying to aim for something, that's not gonna happen because I have stretch marks on my belly. I have a very different looking body than I did before I had babies. And I don't have somebody who can watch my baby whenever I want, so I can go to the gym for 2 hours. I have instead embraced trying to work out and stay healthy and exercise and eat well so that I can be more present for the people around me and so that I feel good in my body. I don't want to feel bad in my body. I find that physically I feel better and mentally I feel better when I exercise. But it's not about having a six pack. It's not about looking amazing at the beach. It's about looking nice for my husband, because I think that's important and I think that's nice, but mostly being healthy and strong. And if I'm those things, I am more than happy. And that has been my goal since becoming a full-time homemaker, is not to push myself to look like something that is impossible with the time that I have, but rather to give myself the gift of health and fitness so that I can stay strong and feel good. And the truth is, there's a really big difference, and I think this is something I want to do a video on maybe at some point. There's a really big difference between stay-at-home moms and moms who don't have to work. And stay-at-home moms are the women who, like me, are busy taking care of the kids all day. That is my task. I take care of my child and I take care of my home. That is my job, and anything else I can fit in is an extracurricular. That is different than a mom who doesn't have to work because her husband can afford for her not to work, and so she has a nanny and she has help, and her schedule is not as focused on getting things done around the house. You know, she might have a cleaning lady or taking the kids around, because she has full-time help, so she can go exercise and she can try to aim for that body that is a little more unachievable for those of us who don't have time. And so I think comparing these two different lifestyles, but putting them all under the header of stay-at-home mom, can be confusing for those women who are working as stay-at-home moms versus those women who have more flexibility with their time. The last thing that I don't do as a feminine homemaker is live my life for the gram. Now, what I mean by that is I don't care how my day looks to other people. My day may look boring to someone else, may look mundane, may not look exciting or beautiful at every turn. But for me, it is absolutely fulfilling. And for my child, it is what he needs. And for my family, this is where I can best serve the people I love and the people I care about. And so I don't need my life to look amazing, to look like the kind of life that everyone would want. What I do here is important not because it's like, wow, look at her incredible life. It's important because I'm doing something important. I'm doing something important with my time. I'm raising the next generation. I'm supporting the people in my life who I care about and who I love. And I feel fulfilled in that. And that is what's important. That's what I'm trying to impart when I share things on Instagram. It's not look at my beautiful home and how I love to be in it. It's look at my day-to-day and see how this is what it's about. Like, it's not just about beauty and aesthetics. It's about doing what's important and caring for people and putting my energy into things that are fruitful. So I don't care if my day-to-day doesn't look like, oh my gosh, she got to do a bike ride today, or like, oh my gosh, she made sourdough in her kitchen, because I don't do either of those things. No, my day-to-day is often driving my son to a little class in the morning and then doing errands in the afternoon and cleaning the house and cooking with him. And it's not super exciting. It's not a glorious, afternoon in the summer. It's just my life. And that is what's important. And the real reason I wanted to make this video is because I think that homemaking on social media has taken on an aesthetic of its own and has taken on a vibe of its own. And if your day-to-day as a homemaker doesn't look that beautiful, doesn't look that amazing, if you don't have the time to make yourself look like an Instagram model every morning, you're not doing it wrong. You're probably doing it right. you're probably doing it much more right than the people who are focused on making it look picture perfect. So you can be a feminine homemaker just by being a good homemaker, not by being the most attractive homemaker or anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear. If you'd like to join my book club on Substack, I would love if you would come on over, and I'll see you guys in my next video.